let's start off this section of the video by asking ourselves a question. If you were a parent and you knew a school had a foreign English teacher, an ESL teacher, and you were taking your child to that school, what expectations would you have and how would you express them? That's what we are going to talk about in this section. What parents expect and how they express their expectations. So usually parents will say something like this. It doesn't matter whether my child is learning something or not. As long as they're having fun, I just want them to have fun in class. And that is one of the things they say. They want their kids to have fun. And fun actually also means happy, right? So parents have a general idea that I want my child to be happy. I want my child to have a happy childhood, a happy time at school. And therefore, somehow, in your school with your ESL teacher, there could be some fun. Now, they want the teacher to interact a lot more with their child. That's normal. That's an expectation that is understandable. And that usually means they also having the opportunity to show that interaction with the ESL teacher, that fun the child is having to other people. We are in a social age. We are in a computer age. And therefore, people want to show pictures. People want to send out videos. So usually, they want to show what their child is doing with an ESL teacher to other people. So they want videos of their child with the ESL teacher. Let's try and decode all the things parents say. Let's try and filter out the noise and then actually get to what they really want. When you're an ESL teacher, it's the expectations of the parents that would actually determine whether you are fulfilling what you're supposed to do already. Let's understand it this way. There is perception and there is reality. The parents are not going to take their actions based on reality. That's something you need to understand. They will make their decisions based on the perception they have of your course, of your school, of the foreigner teacher, of how things are going. And that will in turn influence the decisions they make when it comes to bringing their awards to your school. So, the first thing you need to understand is that parents really want their kids to speak fluent English. That is something they want. They might think of it as fun, and they might say things like, it doesn't matter whether they have fun, they learn anything or not, as long as they have fun. But in essence, in actual fact, they want the child in the end to be able to speak English. You don't need to make a mistake of thinking, oh, the child just needs to have fun. At the end of the day, they're not going to judge you by the fun the kid had. They're going to judge you based on what the child learned. Now, the second thing is that parents always want to know that their money is well spent. Usually, these schools, they're expensive. At least not like the normal schools, not like government schools, not like private schools that don't have foreigner teachers. Because keeping you as an ESL teacher, it comes at a cost. And therefore, the school has to balance that out, and therefore, it's expensive, and parents have to pay more. And therefore, parents always want to know that after taking my child to this school and paying this much, it's paying off. So, what you can do with that is you need to constantly show what you're doing. You have to share with the parents. And that is where the next point comes in, which is that they want to know about the progress of their kids. You take videos of the child one-on-one repeating words, a review session or something, send it to the school group or something. You need to constantly keep parents in the loop, which is the next one. However way you can involve the parents. For instance, share the semester plan with them, share the week's plan with them, share the content you're teaching with them. Give them more, just give them more. Let them know what is going on at every turn, so that if the child is doing great, they know how that came about. And if the child is not doing good, they also know why. So you don't jump from point A, my child just came to the school, to point B, my child doesn't know anything. What happened in between? The parents are they're going to have questions. If you want to avoid all of those questions, find a structure that involves the parents in the process. And we are going to talk about this later. In our section where we talk about the teacher, we are going to bring in how to put parents in the teaching loop. Now, some parents don't know what to do when it comes to their children and English, which translates to, they might say something like, I don't know how to review with a child, or I'm afraid I might pronounce words wrongly or something. And therefore, what they actually means is that they want some assistance. They might not say directly, but that's what it means. You don't need to go to their homes and do anything. That's impossible. But then you can find a way to give assistance to the parents. For instance, you can make a review video of what you taught in class today. That's one of the things I do every day. So after teaching the lesson, you make a video and you send to the parents. This way, they don't need to by themselves try to teach the child. They can just have the child watch your video and it solves that problem of their expectation. In dealing with parents as well, you need to take two things into consideration. This makes handling parents a little difficult, which is that sometimes they are impatient. A parent brings their child their ward to the school today. A week later, they want to see that their child can speak fluent English, but that doesn't happen. This whole language thing, it's not a magic, something I always say. It takes time, it's a process we have to follow through. And therefore, parents' expectations sometimes cannot be satisfied right away. And usually, what happens is that every parent has expectations of language acquisition, even when their child is in a language learning environment. So they want that level of fluency. They want the child to be able to express things, to reply, respond when you ask them something in English. But then the problem is that acquisition takes time and progress is not going to be manifested right away. And sometimes they are not even in an acquisition environment. They are not in an immersion environment. They are just in an environment where we just learn one word and the child says that one word. We just learn a few sentences and the child says those few sentences. But they are impatient and they want to see things like the child speak fluent English. So sometimes parents are impatient and that's difficult to deal with. Now, because this is a foreign language, sometimes the parents cannot communicate with you. Here lies the two problems when dealing with parents. Sometimes they are impatient and sometimes it's difficult to communicate with them. The good part is you don't always need to communicate with parents because they're usually Chinese teachers who might do that for you. And with their impatience, like I said, you need to bring them on the journey with you.